Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business Different Day podcast. First, I want to introduce my co-host, Alyssa Lee Good. How you doing, Alyssa?
I'm doing pretty good, Zeke.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Full day.
I'm glad that we got you. Yeah, we are. We're going to double up today,
Yeah.
but that's a little behind the scenes, like inside baseball.
Yeah.
In this podcast, we like to speak about business, right? We speak about the balance of business and personal life. We speak about the work hard, play hard mentality. And our audience is drawn to that because they understand the importance of that concept. But as we continue to expand our listenership, we want to be sure that younger people hear us too. Not just the established businesses that want to hear a different but possibly parallel perspective, but also the entrepreneur-minded folks with little or no business-minded or business experience, So that is why we invited our guest today. Someone who was just like them not very long ago, but who has found his motivation and determination and hasn't looked back. When I met this man a couple years ago, his name immediately made sense. I don't drink coffee, but I might as well have drank a whole pot because after talking to him, I wouldn't be sleeping anytime soon. Brash at times, but never boring. A salesman's salesman, a whirlwind. Welcome to the Same Business Different Day podcast, Storm Chadwick.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Very cool.
Yeah.
I love the intro, man. That was awesome. Appreciate it.
Man. That is true, man. And it's it's a lot. I mean, I've been involved in sales for many, many years. I wouldn't even try to count. And to say a salesman at your age, I mean, we're talking, what, 27?
27,
you told me?
yeah.
Man, at your age to be, embody what a salesman does and who a salesman is, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I appreciate that.
Let's get to the rules of the game first.
That's right.
All right.
So if you haven't been listening to this podcast before, the way we run it is a podcast about business, running a business, owning a business. But we don't talk about that right away. We want to get to know Storm and talk about who you are and what you like to do, where you started. And then at some point we'll say, and this is what Storm does.
Okay. Sounds good.
Remember what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Yeah, what did I want to be when I grew up? I think I wanted to be a fireman.
Yeah.
Honestly, man. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman just because I knew how everyone looked up to firemen. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to be, someone that people looked up to, right? And when you're young, you don't know that being a salesman is a thing, right? You don't know that you can be the CEO of a company. You don't think of that when you're 8 years old, 9 years old. You think of, I want to be the chief fire battalion, right? I want to be the leader of the firemen, right? But, I had some medical things that prevented me from becoming a fireman.
Okay.
So, I started working when I was 12, 13 years old, man. Working, yes.
Okay.
Like to give you the background, I come from a very poor family, right?
Okay.
I had 5 kids in my family and my parents didn't make a lot of money. So if I wanted a new skateboard, if I wanted a new pair of shoes, if I wanted anything I wanted that was extra and not, just your standard sneakers from Payless shoe store, I would have to buy them myself, right?
Yeah.
So at 12 years old, I knew that. And what I did when I first started working is I started my own business. I went door to door to all of my neighbors and sold them on, let me mow your lawn for $20. Let me wash your car for $10. Mm-hmm. Let me pick your weeds, whatever. A little 12-year-old kid knocking on your door, neighbor. Mm-hmm. Most people knew me in the neighborhood because I was outside playing. Uh-huh. And, that's where I got started in, making my own money for myself and seeing the value in every dollar that I made, right? And knowing that I had to work 2 full hours to make this $20. So I'm going to spend this $20 where I want to spend it, right? I'm not going to spend it on candy and whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm going to spend it on a nice pair of really dope shoes or a brand new surfboard or whatever, right? Save my money.
Yeah.
So that's how I got,
That's a couple of lessons there, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just the hustle, right? Learning, but it's also learning the value of the money.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, right?
How much time you spent earning that money, that works directly with how you're going to spend it.
Exactly, right? Learning the value of a dollar young is going to be a key way for the future generations to understand. That's something I'm going to instill in my children when I have them, for sure. Mm-hmm. Understanding the value of a dollar.
But you also gotta teach them the hustle. right?
Of course.
They've got it to be able to go door to door. Not many folks can do it. Not most folks aren't into that. Most folks don't run to, you know what, who can I just go meet a stranger today?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
not everybody's into that.
Exactly.
And sure, it's the people in your neighborhood, but they're not used to you knocking on their door. They're not
No.
used to you asking for money, you know, but
Correct.
you're selling them a product. And if you learn that at a young age, you know, that goes a long way,
100%.
you know, as you get older. Were there mentors around you, people who taught you anything like that? Or is that something that you just figured naturally because you just had the need for the money?
It was a little bit of both. You know, I knew that one thing I got from my stepdad was his work ethic. Like I remember sometimes him waking up, puking, and then still going to work that same day. Right?
Okay. Okay.
Like he knew that if he didn't go to work for a couple days, he wouldn't be able to pay the rent. So he didn't have an option to not go to work. Right? He had to go to work. And that's one of the few things that I learned from him that, you know, still is in with me today is if I feel snuffly, if I have a little bit of a headache, take some Advil, take some allergy medicine, and get out there. You know what I mean? Like, don't let the little things in your life bring you down when you know you need something. You have to do something, right? You have to get this done in order to do X, Y, and Z, right? I have to go to work so I can pay my bills. I have to go to school so I can get a great job. Whatever you have to do, right? Understanding that is the key, and having that positive work ethic is definitely something that I got from him. But other than that, you know, like you said, just the hunger for money, right? My family, like they had imagine you buy like a pack of Chewy bars, everyone was like, everyone in the family gets 2 Chewy bars. That's it. If you want to grab one, eat half of it and eat the other half tomorrow, that's up to you. But if you eat 2 today, they're gone for the rest of the month, right? So I've always been used to like being on a budget, right? And when I was a kid, I was over it. I hated it. I was already doing it for 12 years, and I'm like, I want to be able to buy my own snacks. I want to be able to buy my own shoes or whatever, right? And that's kind of what drove me, right? Seeing him go to work every day and seeing him make money and seeing how much he was struggling. I didn't want to do that when I got older, right? I didn't want to be struggling and not have to take a sick day if I was sick, right? And obviously, like I said, I still embody what he does because I still go to work sick sometimes, right? Not like go to work sick. I sit in my office, right? Like I'm not like out talking to people sick. I'm not trying to spread.
Be careful saying that.
Especially nowadays, right? Yeah, but like, see, even if I got sick with anything, I would do my best to still work, right? If I'm obviously locked in the hospital, I'm stuck in the hospital, right? You can't do much. But the key is working with what you got and making the best of it. That's, you know, what I did when I bought a push lawnmower on eBay for like $200 or something. And I used that to go out and do the lawn mowing and all that stuff. So, you know, coming from a poor family kind of almost made me who I am today.
Sure.
Because I understand, like I said, understand the value of a dollar, understand what it's like to struggle day in and day out. And that's, you know, what has driven me to be the man I am today, to not have to do that. And, you know, I am proud to say that at 27 years old, I make more money than my mom and my dad combined. Because I have that, you know, the tenacious spirit and that mental state, right?
You know, we might spend a little time on talking sales a little bit. Just because this is fun for me. I like talking sales. Now, there's a piece that, I mean, you mentioned plenty about, you know, the hunger, right? The value of the dollar, all of that stuff. But there's another piece to a salesperson that's very important that you have. Not everybody necessarily has, right? So let's say you get up in the morning, you want to go hustle. You want to go chop wood. You want to mow lawns, pull weeds, wash cars, whatever it is. But you have to communicate that to your client, that why they need that, right? You have to be able to explain to them what you can do, why they don't have to do it, and why it's going to be, have value.
Yeah, why they should work with you.
Yes.
Right? Exactly.
So the ability to communicate. So what do you tell other folks, young folks who are trying to, go out there and have that hustle, but aren't necessarily conveying the message?
Yeah. So, my biggest piece of advice to anyone looking to get into sales is to make sure you have good self-confidence.
Right.
Self-confidence is the key to success in sales. So if you need to do meditation in the morning to get your self-confidence up, if you need to listen to a jam of rock and roll music like Dwight does in The Office, whatever you need to do to build that confidence in yourself and understand that you are a bad mother lucka, right? Out here, doing your thing. If you have that confidence in yourself, people will see that. People will see the fact that you know what you're talking about because you believe you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
People will see that hunger in your eyes for them to understand what you're trying to portray because you have the confidence. Like, I know what I'm saying is right. Please listen. This is going to be a really great way to help benefit you, whether it's mowing your lawn or doing X, Y, and Z, right? Convincing them, the easiest way to convince someone is with confidence, right? If you're, walking into someone, hey, how's it going? It's never going to work, right? You can't walk in and try and convince someone something with I'm forgetting the word. It's not confident. Timid at it. Thank you. Yeah. Timid and salesperson are not one and the same. You can't be timid and be in sales, right? You have to have that confidence, that hunger, 100%.
Well, you also have to deliver, right? I mean, you have to do a good job, repeat customers. If you're out there 12 years old mowing the lawn and you miss the middle, I mean,
of course,
they're not going to call you back. So you had to put in the hard work and look at the job you had done and ask yourself, did I do a good job?
Of course, right? And you don't leave the job until it's done, right? That's the key is if you're going to sell someone on something, you better do what you sold them on, right? You better under promise, over deliver. I can't believe I just forgot that. But under promise, over deliver. If you tell them I'm going to mow your lawn and then you go out there and mow their lawn and pick the weeds and do the sides and do the trimming, they're going to be like, oh, this guy's amazing. Right? He told me he was going to mow his lawn and did all this other stuff too. Right? Under promise, over deliver. That's the key in sales.
What was your first job?
My first actual job was newspaper subscription sales. So I was walking home from school one day and an older man walked up to me and handed me a flyer. He's like, hey man, you want a job? And I was like, yeah, when can I start? And he's like, I haven't even told you what the job is yet. I said, I don't care. I need a job. And he's like, how old are you? I'm like, 14 tomorrow. And he's like, all right, you can start tomorrow. With your parents' permission, of course. So I started the next day. And what the job was we were selling the Union Tribune and the North County Times. To those of you who are locals to North County or San Diego, you know what those are, what those used to be, because they're not really, at least the North County Times isn't a thing anymore. The Union Tribune's definitely still here and still active in the community, which is awesome. Yeah, exactly, right? So yeah, we were selling that, right? So imagine a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid knocking on your door and selling you a newspaper subscription for $10 a month, right? And that's what I did. I did that all throughout high school. All 4 years, I worked 5 days a week, 40 hours a week.
Really?
All throughout high school, yeah. And still got
14, working 40 hours a week. I'm not sure that's legal.
I don't know if it was, but I worked from like 2:30 to like 8:30 or 9, Monday through Thursday and Sunday. So I don't know if it was full, maybe it was 35 hours or whatever, but still a full-time job plus going to school full-time. It was crazy.
And you had the confidence to go knock on the doors and work with it. Actually, I read about this. You had written about this. I saw it online. You eventually had other high schoolers working with you too, right?
Yeah, I did get, after being there for 2 years, I was promoted to a team lead position where I made money on every sale that everyone else made to try to pump them up and, go door to door with them a little bit and pump up their emotions, pump up their energy.
Oh, come on, man. You're the team lead at how old?
16.
Wow.
16 years old. You're a team leader. You're teaching sales, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And then at 18, I became a manager. So I actually ran an entire team of 10 high school students. And I hired my own team lead to lead the team with me, right? And I did that for about a year and a half until the company dissolved. The company kind of went under when all this newspaper stuff was kind of moving towards 2020. No one's really getting... You get the newspaper still, but it's very rare.
Only on Sundays. Otherwise, it's online. Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. I got to get my funnies.
You got to get your funnies and you got to get your coupons, right? And that's what I used to sell on, right? My number one seller was Sunday only, right? Get the coupons get the funnies, you get the little comics, and you get your word cross puzzles, and you're helping me out, right? It's a win-win, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been in sales as long as I can remember, and I've been teaching people about sales since like I said, 16 years old. Over 11 years, I've been a sales trainer, like helping people understand what they need to do in order to portray confidence, right? And what they need to do, maintain eye contact, all that kind of stuff.
And that's the thing, again, we'll talk a little bit more about sales. You kind of got to be a psychologist to be a sales trainer, because you have to understand that person, right? You have to understand how they portray themselves, what their confidence is like, how to, give them more confidence. And then at the same time, you're teaching them how to communicate with others, right?
Yeah.
So there are steps to this. There are steps to putting someone in a position to be successful. 100%. And then at the end of the day, if they're not good at it, you got to lose them.
100%. Yeah. Like there was a large turnover in that company, right? I had friends that were like, bro, you're making so much money. Can I come work for you? And when I was in like 14, 15, they're like, bro, you're making so much money. Let me work with you. Yeah, great. Come on. They come out for 2 days and they quit. They're like, bro, I don't know how you do that. Right? Because door-to-door sales is not easy, right? You got people slamming the door in your face, telling you, get the F out of my front door, right? People be screaming at you. It's not for the faint of heart, right? Sales in general isn't for the faint of heart, but the overall of working door-to-door at high school age, people already have an issue with self-confidence in high school, right? 90% of humans have an issue with, because their body's changing. They're going through life changes in terms of their body and their emotions. They're, all these different things are changing. So dealing with that, as well as dealing with having to get good grades, as well as dealing with getting yelled at by random people that you don't know trying to make money, it's a lot of stress, right? Right. For someone who's 14, 15, 16. So a lot of people couldn't handle it. So yeah, like you said, high turnover. So it's you have to have a good personality to do door-to-door sales. You can do any type of sales with most other personalities, right? But door-to-door sales is a beast.
Yeah. So then eventually you got into being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like you really looked at things as if, you could run this thing on your own.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. How did that come about? Where did that confidence come from? There's big steps to that, right? Because
100%.
in the former businesses, you weren't, doing your own paperwork. You weren't, you didn't have
taxes, paying employees. It's all crazy, right? Yeah. So I went from that door-to-door sales company and I worked at Verizon for a little bit, and I realized that Verizon was making a lot of money off me. Right. I was looking at the numbers.
Wait a minute. Wait. Go back, because I really want to talk about this, right? Just for a second.
Yeah.
Phone sales.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Tell me what you were doing, because I used to work for Singular Wireless. Okay. Yeah. I did phone sales for many years. Yeah. And I was training maybe like 300 employees, 300 salespeople. Yeah. Loved it. It taught me a lot. Oh, 100%. And it's the trenches, Yeah. I know some folks might say something different. The used car sales is more the trenches than phone sales, whatever. Who knows, right? Always argument. But salespeople are salespeople at the end of the day. And those phone sales, it was fun, but it was a lot of transactions, and it's cutthroat too, right? Very. So we'd sell, I'd sell personally, we 120, 130 phones a month, right? Sometimes you're selling to one person, you're selling 4 phones, whatever. All of that, you never know what you might get, because they're not always just seeking you. You have to sometimes sell to somebody. They have a phone on their hip right there.
Of course.
Right. Yeah, so I just want to hear a little bit about your experience with Verizon.
Yeah. So, my number one person I sold to were people paying their bill. People would walk in the door. Hey, I want to pay my bill. Okay, great. Let me pull up your account. Pull up their account. Oh, you're eligible for an upgrade. Yeah. Right? Let me show you this awesome new phone. Right. Pull out the phone. When I go back to grab the phone, I also grabbed a tablet. I grabbed a mobile broadband service. I grabbed all the things that we sold, right? I grabbed accessories. I grabbed headphones. I grabbed all the cool stuff. Yeah. Right? And I walked out with a big box of stuff, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, no, I'm just showing it to you. Just showing it to you, right? I just wanted to show you how cool this is. And at the time that I was working at Verizon, they were switching everything over from paying by the gig to unlimited. And if you got unlimited, it was actually less expensive for some people because some people were paying for 20, 30 gigs, right? They were paying like $200, $300 a month. So what I would do is I would always look at their account and see how I can make their bill the same price with more stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
If I could give you a mobile broadband and a tablet and a phone for the price you're paying for that phone, doesn't that sound like a good deal?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to call my cable company later if you don't mind.
Right.
You know, that worked on me once. I walked into Verizon for a new phone, and I walked out with like 3 new devices.
Exactly, right?
It was a good deal.
Exactly, right? And that's
As long as you don't have regrets.
I did
You
up
said it was
paying.
a good
No,
deal.
I ended up paying more than I expected for sure. But
that's depending on the person you're working with, right?
Yeah.
Some people, don't tell the whole truth, and that's unfortunate. But
Right.
overall, what I found in that industry is if someone walks in the door, if you can talk to someone and you can create a common ground of some part,
you
can always talk with them about other stuff too, right? And explaining to them each individual item as if it was the best thing in the world for them, right?
Yeah.
Asking them things about their life, right? If a business person walks in, ask them, do you ever go out on the go in the business, or are you always at home? Well, sometimes, I go out to the hotels and stuff. Oh, okay. Wouldn't you like to have your own secured Wi-Fi signal when you're out in the bow, or maybe even on the airplane, you want your own secure Wi-Fi signal? They're like, yeah, great. Well, I got the device for you, right? And asking them questions leading into how this product is going to work for you, right? Asking them buying questions where they say, yes, yes, yes. Okay, then it's yours, right? Getting them to understand the value by asking them questions about how it would pertain to their life. But Verizon was a trip, man. The reason I say I realized how much money they were making off me and then I wanted to leave is because when I sold a Verizon cell phone, I made $20 to $50 for selling it. And those clients kept coming back to me when they had an issue with their cell phone every single month or every 3 months or whatever, right? They came back to me because I told them to, and that's totally fine, right? I wanted them to come back to me so I can sell them more stuff, right? But overall, I was seeing that Verizon was making money every single month when they were paying their phone bill, but I only made money once. So this person is coming back over and over again. Verizon's making money on them every month, but I'm only made money on them one time. Year and a half ago, right? And I'm lucky if they come back in 2 years and I get them to do their new upgrade, right? Or their new phone or whatever, right? So I was looking into that and I was like, right? I want to be the one making the monthly money, right? I want to be making money every month. I want to sign someone up for something and make money every single month. And I just Googled residual income, right? Residual income. And I found a company that will let you be your own business owner and partner with them and sell credit card processing. And that's how I got into the industry.
How old were you?
I was 20. No, 21. 21. I was 21 when I got in the industry, yeah.
Okay. So now it's time for the reveal because that's where we are
you
now.
set us up.
So obviously I do payment processing, right? With Spot On, I do a little bit more than just payment processing. We do like website design, loyalty programs, buy 5 coffees, get the 6th coffee free type thing. We're doing a lot for restaurants right now with the pandemic, online ordering, dine-in ordering with the QR codes. We're doing like a really awesome program that we're launching next week called DoorDash Drive. Right now, all of these DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, I'm not sure if you know this, but if you order from DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, they take 30% of the total amount for themselves. They keep it, 30% of the profit. And then the restaurant gets 70%. So a lot of like even Chipotle is they're cutting off all of their delivery services. They're not doing delivery anymore because of that, right? And one thing that we're doing is we're partnering with DoorDash to where DoorDash can still make some money, but the business owner doesn't have to lose out on the 30%. Which is a really cool program we're doing. We gave like 1.5 million back to the restaurant industry during the pandemic as well by like waiving monthly fees and stuff. So, that's me. That's what I got into the industry. I own my own company still, Storm Payments, and I also work with a company called Spot On based out of San Francisco. Storm payments is like the high risk version of credit card processing, not for your mom and pop auto shop, for more of like the, CBD, adult industry, other things like that are harder to place, harder to acquire a merchant account, right? If you're not in the industry, you don't know that. But like all of these adult businesses and CBD businesses and, there's hundreds of other ones, online gambling, all these other things, right? They can't get a normal credit card processing account.
Okay.
Because they don't abide by Visa and MasterCard's rules and regulations most of the time. Okay. So they need to get a higher risk with a higher rate. And that's what Storm Payments does now.
So this is your thing now. I mean, and have you dealt with the adversity? Have you dealt with the issues of businesses shutting down and that, curbing your business?
Yeah. So the cool thing about what I try to do is I have a very diverse portfolio of merchants, and a lot of them are automotive and other essential businesses, right? That didn't see much of a dip during the pandemic. Maybe the first 2 months they saw a little dip, but they're right back to where they were before, right? So I personally didn't see much of a difference except for when I was trying to sell, right? I'm an in-person kind of guy,
okay.
Right? I'm walking in the door, introducing myself. What's going on? How's it going? Being excited, energetic, and making them, want to work with me because I want to help their business.
Right.
Right. And kind of trying to portray that over the phone, 10 times harder, I would say. Right. Mm-hmm. Especially, when you're in there, you were looking them in the eye, you're explaining to them, I'm born and raised here, guys. Like I want to help the San Diego community. I want to grow the San Diego businesses. This is how I'm doing it, X, Y, Z. If you call them on the phone in the middle of a pandemic when their whole business is shut down, they're like, click, right? Mm-hmm. It was very much harder to acquire new business. That was my issue. Acquiring new business during the pandemic was my issue for sure.
Okay. Outside of COVID, with the companies that you're working with, what sort of complications arise that you work to solve? What are some of the most common ones, or what are some of the most unique things that have happened? What are you dealing with? Yeah,
so the most common thing we help business owners with is their ability to manage their Google and Yelp reviews, right? Okay. A lot of business owners, I hate to say it, but they don't even know what their Google rating is. Right? They don't know what their Yelp rating is.
You just got to look it up.
That's what they do. I ask them, hey, what's your Yelp rating? I already know what it is when I walk in the door.
Right.
I know it's 4.3. I know exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. I walk in the door asking them if they know what it is. Right? Do you know your Yelp rating? And they're like, let me look it up. And it's like, bro, if you had a tool to manage that for you, wouldn't that make your life a little bit easier? Where you can respond to the reviews, you can get notified when you get a new review, and on your phone you can see your Yelp rating, your Google rating, your Facebook rating, your Open Table rating, all of those things, right? So that's one of the main things that we do, as well as, helping business owners communicate with their customers.
Question, why is that important?
Why is it important? Why wouldn't it be, right?
Right.
When someone tells you about a business, you should check out Joe Schmo's barbecue down the street, right? What do? You Google it.
Uh-huh.
Everyone does. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to Google that Joe Schmo's barbecue and it has a 2.5 on Google, and you're like, dude, what the hell is that guy talking about? Right? He told me to go there, but they have a 2.5. Let me read these reviews.
So how are you adjusting that rating? How are you helping with that rating?
Yeah. So with our
you're not going back there and cooking the food any better.
No, not at all. All right. What we do is we help them acquire more 5-star reviews from the people that come to their business often. Right? The loyal customers, like the guy that referred you to go to Joe Schmo's barbecue. If they come to your store more than once, our system will automatically send them an email request to leave a review, right? It doesn't send it to everyone that walks in the door because some people have bad experiences. But if someone's come back to your store, your business, your restaurant, your auto shop 2, 3, 4 times, obviously you're doing something right for that customer, right? Mm-hmm. That customer likes your experience. That customer likes you. So our system, it recognizes when the credit card has been swiped a couple times and they put their email in for the receipt on our credit card machine, mm-hmm. It will prompt them and automatically send an email to that email asking them, how did you like your service at Joe Schmo's barbecue today? Right? Smiley face or sad face. If they click the smiley face, they go to a review. If they click the sad face, they leave a comment for the business owner. Right? Because we're not trying to help the business owner get 1-star reviews. We're trying to help them get 5-star reviews. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's one of the ways that our system automatically helps business owners just by using the system. All they have to do is just keep business the same as normal. The only thing they do is instead of printing out receipts, they do email receipts. Mm-hmm. Customer puts it in themselves. And that's, a big thing with 2020 nowadays as well, is people are like, oh, I don't want to touch anything.
I don't want to touch the touchpad.
I don't want to touch touchpad. I don't want to touch anything. So our system, the waitress or the front desk person or whoever's taking the payment can ask them, what's your email? So I can send you an email receipt. They can type it in themselves, right? And if the person's not comfortable putting their own email in, or the person can put it in themselves if they are comfortable touching the screen.
Sure. Right.
So we try to make it very good with that. And, automated emails are a really great tool. All of the largest corporations in the country do it. Right? You've probably got an email from Staples or Best Buy or whatever.
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble. Exactly, right? We all have the one that we get and we're like excited when we get it. We're like, oh, I got a new promotion on Barnes & Noble. What's on sale this month, right?
Right.
Everyone loves those. So if you can have a local business doing the same thing, promoting new things when they get new things, right? I have a few auto shop guys that once a month they put out a new promotion where they're like $5 off oil change this month. And they said that their business on oil changes has gone up over 200% since they started doing that. Mm-hmm. Automatic emails that send out after someone already got their oil change. Our system will send it 2.5 months later to remind them to get their oil changed again, automatically. What are they going to do? Come back to the same place because they got a $5 coupon. Mm-hmm. So they're going to drive repeat business, right? It's statistically proven it's 5 times less expensive to get a repeat customer than to try and acquire a new customer. And that's what Spot On does. We're not a marketing company. We're trying to help you keep your customers coming back more often.
You see what I'm saying? Communication, sales, it works well together. It's a good communicator right there. But we're not just going to talk about your business. We also want to understand you, right?
Yeah.
The reason why you're successful.
100%.
Because you're making your business great. Spot On should be happy to have you.
I agree.
Right? Mm-hmm. Now, the cold call approach. You've obviously brought that back. You started it back there when you were mowing the lawns.
Yep.
You are still out there. How do you teach others, again, to have that confidence in this business, right? Because you've got a team now.
I do.
Right?
I do have a team. Yep.
How large is your team now?
I think 24 people on the team.
You got 24 people on your team.
From Fresno all the way down to San Diego.
Spanning a large area of California.
Yeah, most of it.
Right. And you are telling them, hey, you guys can do it. You guys get out there and go get that business. Right.
Yeah. So how do I do that?
Right.
There are a few different ways. Number one.
First, how do you motivate yourself?
That's a good question.
And then you got to motivate your team because, none of us are superhuman. You didn't wake up and just like, hey, I'm ready to talk to you woke up looking for that energy and finding your way to being successful, to being great, and then also passing that greatness on to others.
Yeah. And I think a big thing of it is the passion, right? I have a passion for my industry because multiple reasons. Number one, I help local businesses, right?
Okay.
What is the foundation of the American economy? Local business.
Good.
They're the foundation of the local economy. The foundation of the whole entire American economy is local business. Mm-hmm. They comprise over 60% of jobs in the United States are comprised of local businesses, right? So I have a passion to help local businesses survive and thrive, not just survive, right? Yeah. Right now they're focusing on surviving. I'm helping them focus on surviving and thriving,
right?
And be more than just paying the bills, right? Bringing money in, So that's where I find my, confidence is having a pure passion to help these business owners, and obviously the money, right? Everyone loves money, right? So the fact that I get paid well helps me have that passion, right? I'm not waking up like, oh, I'm making $12 an hour to do this. No. I know my value and I'm getting paid based on my value. So I know that when I wake up in the morning, I need to bring the heat because I'm getting paid to bring the heat, right? When I say bring the heat, I mean that energy, that excitement, right? Smile on your face at 7:30 in the morning on the Zoom when everyone's like, I'm the one, what's going on, right? Welcome. Coffee doesn't hurt. Let's be honest. Right? I'm a big fan of coffee.
Never had a whole cup of coffee in my life.
No?
Me either.
No?
No, I'm not a coffee person either. I drink tea.
Well, tea's not
so
bad.
I do it with tea.
But tea has like 20 milligrams of caffeine.
Right.
I have like 180. So like, I use like ultra concentrated coffee too. It's not just like the coffee pot coffee. I use like a thing called Jot. It's like super ultra concentrated coffee. So I'm hilarious. Like wired in 15 minutes, straight to the bloodstream.
That's hilarious.
So that
I'm the
helps.
calm guy in the morning meeting. So I'm a little different than you.
I'm the guy. Well, that I need to help them get energetic, right? And help them understand, right?
Yeah.
So I'm the guy that people, when they get on the call, I'm the guy that's trying to put a smile on your face, right? Yeah. Crack a couple jokes, make some smiley comments, right? And like sometimes I'll call people out, hey, what's going on, man? What's going on? Yeah. And they're like, nothing, it's all good. I'm like, dude, come on, man, let's make it happen. You got this. Where's your cat at? Go grab your cat. Let me see your cat. Right? You just get them excited. Look, made you smile and laugh. That's the key.
I love seeing a cat or a dog on Zoom.
Right? Exactly.
The best thing that derails the whole conversation, but it's worth it.
Exactly. Sometimes you have to do that to build their confidence, right? And to help them get energetic. But the key is letting them know every single day how much you appreciate the hard work they're doing. Letting them know every single day.
Sure.
Every single moment when you get on the phone, thank you so much. I'm proud of you, bro. Proud of you, miss, right? Or whatever, whoever it is. Letting them know that you appreciate the hard work they're doing, even if they didn't make a sale today, right? Even if they didn't achieve their goal. Like, dude, you did really good, right? Even if you didn't achieve your goal, you still moved the needle forward, right? And always having that positive outlook, except for when they're like in the dirt, right? Sure. Then you have the extreme positive outlook to pull them out of the dirt,
psychology,
right? Exactly. Like you said, psychology, right? And I feel like sometimes I'm almost some people's therapist at the same time, right? Yeah. A lot of people put a lot of faith in their manager and talk to their manager about personal stuff, right? Sure. Things that's going on in their personal life that sometimes they don't even tell their wives. I hear things, right? So that I take that as a vote of confidence in me, right? If you like me enough to tell me something you won't even tell your wife, then I know that I have to work my butt off to help you achieve your goals.
Yeah, you have a responsibility at that point.
Exactly, right? And I tell them every single day, I work 12 hours a day. I don't expect you to work 12 hours a day, but I expect you to meet me halfway. Yeah. Right? We're in this together. If I am more excited about your success than you are, we have a problem, right? And getting them to understand that and like, yo, Storm has my back. Storm's going to be there when I need him. Storm's going to answer his calls, except for when he's on a podcast. Storm's going to be there, right? And I have assistants. I got backup, right? So they're not like high and dry right now. Don't get me wrong. But overall, explaining to them that we're in this together and building their confidence through that is a key. And how do I teach them how to be good door-to-door salespeople? Is by having them watch me. Right?
Yeah. You're still willing to go out there and do it yourself. Yeah. Obviously.
Did it this morning.
Right. Yeah. And I think that that's really important. And I think that helps motivate some of these young folks who are interested in going into business, who are interested in going into sales, starting their own. And that was the key. That's why I brought you here today, because you embody that. You've done it. You're doing it. You are their age, maybe even younger than some of them. Yep. And you're showing them that, showing them the way. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was networking. Okay. That's how we met.
I love networking, yeah.
Right? Why do you love networking? See, a lot of people don't say that, right? But some people do. I say it. I love networking, right? So what is it about networking that you love so much?
It takes the salesman-y outlook when I talk to people out of it, right? When I go and walk into your door with a spot-on shirt on and a spot-on mask on, I'm selling something, right? If I meet you at a mixer or a networking event and we're just hanging out, drinking some wine or grabbing like you said on the last podcast, beer in one hand, handshake outs in the right hand for the other, right? That's the mentality you need to have. And, if you go out and build relationships with people while networking, you can make more accounts. You can make more business doing that if you do it correctly than you ever could door-to-door, ever could cold call marketing, because you can build relationships with people that can refer business to you week in and week out, day in and day out, right? I have some referral partners that give me 5, 6, 7 referrals a month. Wow. And, they do it because they know that I'm tenacious. They know that I'm going to pay them money when they do it. And they do it because I want to help the person that they're referring, right? I'm not going to screw anyone over. I'm helping their friend at the same time as they're making a little bit of money. It's a win-win. Why wouldn't they tell me they're friends about me?
Right.
Right. And that networking is the key to having a loose, open outlook, right? Everyone's coming to have fun, hang out, meet other business owners. And if you go to a networking event with the mentality that you're going to try and close a deal, you're already starting off wrong, right? Do not go to a networking event. How many deals can I get tonight? That's the last thing you want to think about when you walk into a networking event. Your goal is to build relationships, start connections, right? Just like we have a relationship now, right? We've met each other, 2 years ago or something?
Yeah.
And we still talk. And that's the key, is building that relationship with other people that may not be in your industry or maybe even are in your industry, and having a good, network of people that will support you and you will support them. And, that's good for multiple reasons. One, if you're working with someone and they need something, if I know someone that needs insurance, guess who I'm going to send them to, right? If I know someone that needs this, I'm going to send them there, right? Because I have a network of people. So I have trusted friends that I know I can refer my clients to, and I know they're going to get good service, right? One of the many benefits of networking. Number two, you're building your network in the community. People are going to know your name. When we walked in here, you saw that lady came up and she's like, I know you.
I was like, you're famous.
I was like, yeah. She's like, is your name Mikey or something with an E? And I was like, no, it's Stormy. She's like, Stormy, how did I forget that? Right? So like, that's what the joy of networking is, right? When you walk into a business, sometimes, or when you go places, when you go to the bar, people will recognize you. People will know that you're a local in the community. You're a pillar of that community, right? If you're out networking and introducing yourself to people all throughout the community and building relationships, when someone else asks, hey, have you ever heard of this guy Storm? Well, yeah, he's a killer, man. You should work with him. Right?
Yeah.
Building that repertoire or that confidence in the community will help you in every aspect of your life. If you're looking for a new job, if you're looking to start a business, right? And you go and network right when you start a business, people are going to want to help you.
Yeah.
Right? Especially other entrepreneurs, right? So if you're thinking about starting a business, the first place you should go to is to a networking event. First place, 100%.
I 100% agree. Let's go back to school.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's back to school time.
Back to school time.
Yeah.
All right.
So essentially the idea is, people go to school, get masters in business and learn all these techniques in the classroom. And I want to know what happens when you take the classroom and apply it to the real world. So for a specific example, teachers are always talking about branding. Branding is so important. Get your brand out there, make it recognizable, make it easy. And so I'm curious, and you can talk about Spot On or your other company. Is it Storm Payments? Storm Payments. How do you get your brand out there, especially during COVID? What are you doing to get your brand out there?
Yeah. So like there's a few different things that you can do, right? And I'll touch on both of them.
Sure.
So like for Spot On, I was in the news for Spot On, local NBC News, San Diego. Like I said, being involved in the community is a really good way to get your brand out there. Going to networking events on Zoom, all of that. But building your brand on social media is really key as well, right? Building your influence on social media, finding new people to connect with every day, and building your influencing circle on social media will help you build a brand. With Storm Payments, how I built my brand was, I focused on working with people that couldn't find people that could help them, right? Storm Payments is a high-risk payment processing company. We work with CBD, hard to place, adult risk, high-risk businesses, right? So the reason I started that company in that aspect is because I knew that there was a hole in the market that needed to be filled. And it was filled by some other people, but the competition was much slimmer than the low risk, right? And as you would imagine, higher risk, higher reward, but also higher risk. So, but overall, the key with branding is branding yourself, right? And using your brand as your one and the same. You are your brand, right? Look at Sam Walton. If you don't know that name, he owns Walmart. We're used to before he died. Walton, Walmart, right? He was his brand. He embodied his brand. If you think Sam Walton, you think Walmart. If you know who Sam Walton is, When you think Walmart, you think Sam Walton, right? They go hand in hand. And that's what I thought of. And that was my inspiration behind the name Storm Payments, because Storm Payments sounds like a company. Doesn't sound like Johnny Smith's Payments, right? My name kind of gives me a little bit of ease on that. So, I kind of took the branding mentality of incorporating yourself into your brand, but also making it like a easy to understand name, Storm Payments, Walmart, right?
Sure. Now, as we talk about branding, why don't you tell us about us? What does our show mean to you?
Your show,
The same business, different day.
yeah. So that's a good question. Well, your brand shows how you're working with different businesses, but we all have the same mentality, right? Same business, but they're all technically different businesses. But it's like we all have the same outlook, right? Not exactly the same. We're all human beings. We all have little bits of different outlook, but we all have that entrepreneurial spirit. Right? And that's the key. That's who this podcast is based around, people with the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Right? That's who your target market is, and that's who you bring on for the podcast.
And like you said, one of the most important pieces that you said is that we're all human. Because a lot of people look at business owners and look at some of these successful people, Sam Walton, like they're just larger than life. I could never be like him.
Exactly, right?
No, he's human too.
Exactly.
We're all human. We all may have thrown a newspaper off, onto a porch.
Yeah, we all started somewhere, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no reason you can't be just like them or
right.
better.
Or better,
right?
yeah.
Strive for that.
Exactly,
right?
100%. And some of the most successful business people in the world started off poor.
Sure.
Right? Because they know what the struggle is and what the
and
value
uneducated.
of dollars. Yeah, and
Right.
uneducated.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And a lot of the most, like you just said, smartest people in the world didn't go to college, didn't get a college degree, right? And there's even systems and companies like Google and Tesla are partnering up to give people a quote unquote business degree without ever having to go to college, and giving them the business experience they need without having to go to a 4-year university.
And one other piece I'd just like to throw in there is that it's never too late. Right.
Oh,
so
definitely
in this
not.
podcast, yes, we might be trying to speak in this particular episode. We're trying to speak specifically to the younger folks.
Yeah.
But Don King made his first $1 million when he was 35 years old. Nobody would guess that.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
But a lot of the folks, a lot of people that you look at that are really successful in life didn't start until later. So,
Abraham Lincoln I think he closed 18 businesses before he became the president.
I heard that.
18.
I haven't heard that.
Wow.
Yeah. So failure is a step to success.
Sure.
Right.
If you consider failure as the end all be all, you're looking at it wrong. Failure is the end of that chapter. It's time to open the next chapter, turn the page, and go to chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, whatever chapter is the next chapter, right? It's never too late to start your own business. It's never too late to become an entrepreneur. If you have the idea, if you have the passion and the want to do it, do it.
I like it.
Well, yeah, I'll say that sounds like a mantra. And so let's dive into our mantra.
Okay.
So Zeke has a long, long list of different sales mantras of, live by these words, you're going to be successful. So I'm going to read one to you.
Okay.
And let me know your thoughts on it, whether you agree, disagree. It's okay to disagree with Zeke.
Yeah.
And,
Sure it is.
and so here we are. Time equals money. Both are important to everyone, but we don't all spend them the same.
That's a very true statement. Time and money are the same exact thing. Time equals money, money equals time. If you invest your time into the right thing, you will find money. If you invest your money into the right thing, you will find time. They all work together. They're one and the same. So if you waste your time, you are also wasting your money, right? If you are investing your time, if you're investing your money, right, it's all works together. So in my industry, we have a saying, time kills all deals, right? The time is of the essence, right? There's so many different sayings about time, but overall, if you don't understand the value of people's time and the value of not wasting it, you're not going to get far in life at all.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but the key is to remember that if you invest your time in the right things, you will be successful.
Yeah.
Right. And if you invest your time in playing video games all day, you may be a successful video game player with your friends. Right. But if you invest your time in learning, educating yourself, even if you don't go to a 4-year college, maybe you're listening to podcasts like this, or maybe you're reading books, right? The Challengers say all these new books that are coming out that are about how to be a better person, right?
Sure.
The Buddha and the Badass is a really great book that I love personally. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of the author right now. But if you invest your time in yourself, you will be more successful. That's my idea of time.
What was the name of the book again?
The Buddha and the Badass.
Okay.
You know I'm getting that book.
Yeah.
I'm a book person. I love books.
Avid reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great book, and it tells you how it trains you mentally on how to be calm, cool, and collected when talking to people, but also be a badass at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why they call it the Buddha and the Badass.
We'll put that in the notes for this podcast. One last chance, and not just to speak to the younger audience. Let's speak to your younger self. What would you teach your younger self?
Just keep going. Don't stop.
Yep.
Don't give up.
Good.
No matter what anyone tells you, don't give up.
Good.
Right? I've had hundreds of people that ask me, why don't you get a real job? When I was in high school, when I was owned my own company, Storm Payments, why don't you get a real job? Right? Why are you doing this? Right? Because I own my own business, right? Because I'm invested in myself, right? There's so many answers to that question, but overall, people will try and tear you down, no matter what you do. No matter if you try to become a TSA agent or start your own business, no matter what you do, people are going to try and tear you down.
Yeah.
We're crabs in a barrel. If you haven't heard that saying,
Of course.
you've all heard the saying, right? Crabs in a barrel. So if you have the mentality to understand that people will try and tear you down because you're doing better than them, and understand that, that's going to be the key for you to kind of move past them calling you names or being rude to you or telling you that you're never going to make it, or whatever that everyone's ever said to me many, many times in my life, right? Even my own family has questioned my, choices in life throughout multiple different reasons, right?
Yeah.
So, understanding that you make your own decisions, you need to have confidence in those decisions. And if you understand that, you're going to get very far in life.
I'm going to give you the same advice that you will give to your younger self. Storm, just keep going. At your age, you're doing great. This was a really good episode. I think it was very important for us to hear from you today. And I'm really proud of you, man. I'm glad that you came.
Thank you.
And this was a good talk.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I was excited to be here, and it was a great episode, man.
Awesome.
I love it.
Awesome. Let's get into the contact.
If you would like to look and learn more about Storm or get in touch with him, you can find him on the web. The website is spoton.com/SoCal. Storm is on Instagram at SpotonSoCal. LinkedIn, you can look up under Storm Chadwick, or you can just look him up on Google. Spot On San Diego, you'll find all the contact info there. Storm, thanks for chatting with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was awesome, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.